Hey, what's this promo code Dangle get you anyway?
20% off and free shipping and gorgeous balls.
Where?
In your pants.
But where would I get the 20%?
In your shorts.
Where would I get the 20% off?
Manscaped.com/Jesse
No,
Blake.
slash. No.
Slash Jesse Blake.
No, not Jesse Blake.
No.
It's just Manscaped.com.
No.
It's just Manscaped.com and use the promo code
Jesse Blake.
Dangle.
No.
Dangle's the
Oh, it's
promo
Dangle.
Yeah.
We should have mentioned that.
I know we should have. Let's start the show.
The Steve Dangle Podcast. Powered by Sports Interaction. Canada's Sportsbook.
SDP. The Steve Dangle Podcast. With your hosts, Steve Dangle, Adam Wilde, and Jesse Blake.
Let's go!
Okay, so we knew the Avs were good, but did we know they were 7-0 good? Did anyone know?
No.
Except for Jesse Blake,
No. Well,
Yeah.
okay.
who said Avs in 2, I think, by the end of last episode.
Yeah, we got it down to Avs in 2.
Did we?
Well, congrats. This is our last episode of the season then.
I'm shocked they didn't hand out the Stanley Cup on Saturday.
So, what's more surprising?
Yeah.
The Avs winning 7-0 or the Lightning losing 7-0?
Ooh.
It's 100% the second one.
Was it that surprising?
Yeah. Yeah, man.
One team for the Lightning. It's a terrible matchup. That's
look like
that's
shit.
That's what I see, and it's not that surprising when you look at the two teams when they're playing each other. The Avalanche play this game where they're super fast on the forecheck, and their transition game is incredible. And then the Lightning, when they get down, they have to take all these chances, and they're overcommitting on the defensive end, and it leads to more chances for the Avalanche. So it's not surprising that the game ended 7-0.
Would the Avalanche be able to do this if Jared Bednar was not able to look at the footage of the Lightning Leaf series?
No, this is all because of the Leafs.
Yep.
You're welcome.
We did it.
You're welcome. All
Here are
right,
the
that's
names.
the end of the Stanley Cup Final segment. On to the Leafs.
7-0.
Are they going to be able to keep Ilya Mikheyev?
7-0. The goal scorers are Natushkin, Manson, Burakovsky, who will not probably play in Game 3 because he didn't fly to Tampa.
Oh wow.
Natushkin again, Darren Helm, Cale Makar, and then Cale Makar again, and absolutely nothing from the Lightning.
By the way, I'm going to ask people to be very sure when they correct me. Okay?
It's Nikushkin or Natushkin. I don't know.
I've been told very confidently both.
Amber says.
Me too.
Amber says Nakushkin.
That's how it's spelled.
No, it's spelled
Natushkin.
Natushkin.
It's spelled CH in English. If you want to.
Nikushkin?
Depends what country you're from, I suppose.
You can do the Nakushkin where you're pronouncing like a K, or you can do the like an English.
So is
way.
it like because my mom's last name is
Denise.
Denny or Denis, but it's
Is it actually?
we say Dennis. Well, because it was
I
anglicized
never made
French.
that connection at all.
Denis?
Anglicized French, Denis, right?
Never in my entire life did I ever make that
Oh
connection.
yeah. So my question is this an anglicized version of it?
I want to know who's catering to their own language. You know
think
what I
this
mean?
is a good time to bring up Steve's story about a famous broadcaster.
Oh, are we doing that?
We're going to do that right now. Let's talk about this because you know what? Here's the thing: names are an issue, and
Stanley Cup Final.
fuck it,
No,
who cares?
fuck it.
I want to talk
No,
about
this is a good. It's a good
Colorado.
story. This is a good story.
No, it pertains to the Stanley Cup Final. So basically, remember I was talking about I didn't have an internship and a lot of my friends had an internship, but then there was a small group of the elites in my program. There was a small group of the elites who had jobs. They had jobs in the industry while they were going to school. And there was a guy who I think was older, right? Because you go into school when you're 17 or you go into post-secondary when you're 17 or 18. This guy was a little older. So he had a job at CBC. And those members of the elites who had jobs would come in and they would tell us stories from the industry, from the biz, you know? Those cool cats. And we would just all listen, like just captivated. And this one guy said that he got to hear the broadcasters basically setting up before the game. And what Ron McLean and Bob Cole used to do is they would go over the names of the players.
Mm-hmm.
And Bob Cole would say something like, Sundin. And Ron McLean would go, yep, that's right. Okay, good. Because I asked him. Berezan. Yep, no, that's how you say it. Okay, good. Because I asked him. And he would go down the entire roster and say, I asked him. Because for the morning skate, the actual play-by-play commentators will go into the locker room and they'll ask for questions and stories. If you ever wonder where they get all these stories.
Oh, that's how they do it.
They actually ask them. They go in and they ask them. Because they asked them.
Still, your impression is still immaculate.
Yeah,
it hasn't fallen off.
It's your best
It's
impression.
well done.
Still quite good. And supposedly one night, because there was a battle over Nikolai Kulemin. We all said Kulemin.
Mm-hmm.
Nikolai
We
Kulemin.
drank that Kool-Aid.
Hey, woo, hey.
You see?
As far as I know, Nikolai Kulemin did not tell us that his name was Nikolai Kulemin. We just looked at his name and went, you're Kulemin. That's Nikolai Kulemin.
Mm-hmm.
That's what his name looks like, and that's what it's going to be forever. But supposedly, it's a lot closer to, I was told, like, Kulemin.
Kulemin.
Kulemin?
Yeah.
Like, Russian has sounds that English mouths don't make. Like, Andre, when I did KHL highlights, he would try to teach me. It didn't, my mouth was like, that's nice, but we don't do that, Stephen. So I would try and I would fail. So there was a small crowd that included Bob Cole, who said Kulemin. And my friend who had a job said he walked in and one night he heard on the mic, listen, I asked the fucking guy and he said his name was Kulemin.
I love that. And I just love the idea of him saying that.
I asked the fucking guy and he said his name was Nikushkin.
I can't remember. There was like an early hockey Twitter YouTube page that used to make fun of the NHL. Was it Blog Selming or
Bloggy Selming?
Bloggy
Yeah.
Selming. And they did one with, and he's Winnipeg. He retired a Winnipeg Jet, but he started Bufflin.
Bye, Fulugilian.
Yeah, is how you pronounce it. It's like, oh, we think it's Bufflin. He's like, well, actually, it's not. And they're like, okay, well, then we'll trade you to Edmonton. And he said, I guess it's Bufflin then. And it's just one of those, like, I just kind of, it makes me think about that. But listen, if you're on Twitter giving people shit about how they pronounce names, if it's like slightly off, I think a hobby might be good for you.
Well,
like
yeah.
chill. Like nobody is saying Natushkin right the way it's supposed to be spoken in its normal language.
I started saying Nichushkin, and then everyone just one day, drop of a hat, decided it's Nikushkin.
Nikushkin.
And
All right,
then
I can say
yesterday,
Nikushkin.
I got a great compliment in the Sportsnet YouTube channel comments. They're like, as a Russian speaker, I am happy with how Steve Dangle says Nichushkin. So they're telling... So Nichushkin was in the KHL when I did KHL highlights. Andre never corrected me once. And he reveled in correcting me.
Maybe the T is something else from like Russian.
There is no T.
There is no T, but you say Natushkin, right?
I say Nichushkin.
But the CU is almost sounds like a T.
Right, like witch. But like riding a broom witch, not witch.
Yes, I
God,
get you.
English is stupid.
Yeah, it is.
There's a great quote. English is not a language. It's 3 languages wearing a trench coat.
You want me to play this from Run for the Cube? So this is a YouTube video that says how to...
it's this guy, Valerie.
How to pronounce Valerie Nikushkin, who at the time was a Dallas Stars 2013 draft pick. Listen to this.
Valerie Nichushkin. Nichushkin.
Well, who the hell is that? And why does he sound like that?
I don't know.
Is that supposed to be an actual pronunciation, or is that someone joking?
It's someone joking.
That's
got Adam. He's got a Kermit the Frog voice. Like, what do you think?
One more
It's got
time?
2,500 views.
Good for him.
One more time.
Valerie Nichushkin. Valerie Nichushkin.
Almost sounds like remember that Vine where the guy he's like we're going through the indie girl goes through her fridge and it's like we got bananas.
Welcome to my kitchen. We got bananas and avocado.
So I think we should
follows me?
all
Quish, really?
we should all move on to Valerie Nikushkin.
Yeah, okay, no. The question
Valerie Nichushkin. There's no final MVP in hockey, but if there was, Valerie Nichushkin would be, making a case.
I can't wait for Bettman to have to pronounce that when he gives him the Conn Smythe at the end of this.
Oh my goodness.
Valerie Natushkin.
We now present it to...
That's how Bettman should sound.
Yeah.
By the way he looks.
Right.
Like Marvin the Martian?
Yeah.
He should sound like Marvin the Martian.
Yeah.
It's true.
I don't know about that, Jesse.
So we got to ask this question after a 7-0 win. And based on some of the texts I'm getting in our group chat, specifically with the CJ Show people, is this over?
Yeah.
Is the series over?
Yeah.
Is it over after game 2? Really? Is it over? They're saying it's over. Is it over?
My instincts and memory are just Clash of the Titans in my head right now.
Okay, tell me about the clash.
Well, I'm so used to a team that loses 7-0 not doing well. But it's also the Tampa Bay Lightning who gain steam as series go. That was in, let me do math, in 15 games that the Lightning have played between games 2 and 7 in a series this year. So eliminating game 1s, where the Lightning are 1-3 in 4 games. All other games, 2 through 7, they went into game 2 with an 11-3 record.
Wow.
That was the 4th time they lost outside of a game 1.
Wow.
Do you not know who they're playing? The team that is undefeated against anybody not named the St. Louis Blues.
So
They have not lost a road game this playoff.
the St. Louis Blues, who almost forced a game 7. Almost. So let's have this conversation then, because I've seen this going around hockey Twitter. This is the first time that the Lightning have faced a worthy opponent. I flatly deny that and don't believe that.
I think they were in a game 7.
No, so here's the problem is they look at the bubble and the Lightning played the Dallas Stars, who not a lot of people predicted would be in the Stanley Cup Final.
Oh, you're talking about the 3 years.
The 3 years.
Where they won a championship,
no.
Last year, they played the Montreal Canadiens. Yeah, exactly. Right? So they beat the New York Islanders, who were the Joker to their Batman every step of the way for 13 games. And Islanders damn near had him. If Vasilevsky's not in net, if it's any other goalie in the league, do the Islanders win that series? Maybe. Yep, I dare say probably. But
It's a ridiculous argument.
if ifs and buts were candy and nuts, yeah, like
Tampa's had some great opponents along the way. This has been an incredible run for
they
3 years.
swept the team that won the division. Like, you could argue that Colorado is the best opponent they've played in the Stanley Cup Final, and like, yeah, sure, for sure. But to say that they haven't had to play a difficult opponent, they've won 9 series that weren't the Stanley Cup Final over the last 3 years.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
They're good.
I don't.
This is their toughest opponent, I think, in 3 years.
I think
Period.
that's fair.
The Colorado, like I was saying before, they match up so well with them in the way that they play their game. Tampa doesn't have the speed. And when Colorado's playing their speed game, it plays into the hand of Tampa making mistakes.
And
I also think this is the first playoffs, but mostly this first series, I think, where really you just don't have Braden Point. Like, I know he was injured against the Leafs, but he was playing well. He played okay against Panthers, but it got bad against New York, and it's like
He wasn't there versus New York.
Oh, he wasn't in there at all.
He didn't play that series.
his last game before the Stanley Cup Final was Game 7 against the Leafs.
Yeah, he didn't play Florida or New York. Yeah,
When his leg exploded.
This is the thing, though, right? You know, like I feel like
And then they swept the Panthers.
Yeah, I don't know.
Without him.
I think there's some hot takes out there. Yeah. When you have a hot take, at least make it interesting. Like, at least, like, listen, if Stephen A. Smith, king of the hot take, right? Guy's amazing. Sometimes he says shit and he leads and you're like, where the fuck is this going? Because I don't agree with anything. And then after a while, you're like, he's got a point. And I think for it to be a good hot take, it can't be completely true, but it has to have a shred of truth. So if you were to say that Colorado is 1, 2, and 3 on the top teams that Tampa has played over its 2.5 year run, I would say 1,000% I'll listen to that. But to say they've never had a worthy opponent, I think
that's ludicrous.
It's Luda.
Silly goose.
Luda.
Yeah. Silly
Now,
goose.
so you don't think the series is over, Jesse? You do.
Yeah, like when I see Josh Manson coming down the wing,
and Cale Makar, Josh Manson,
one past Andre Vasilevsky, and then Cale Makar doing the exact same thing on a shorthanded play later in the game.
Best deadline pickup in a while.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
I want to shout out Twisted Leafs, Alberto at Twisted Leafs, who was like, I want to talk to whoever said that Josh Manson wouldn't have been a good fit for the Leafs. What was that about?
Well, so
that?
it's not.
There was a
just-
lot of people before the trade deadline. He's not a good fit. He's over the hill. He's this. He's that. Whatever. Looks okay to me.
It's not just about whether or not he's good or would have been a fit somewhere else. Sam Girard is an enormous loss for the Colorado Avalanche, and they've weathered the storm fine.
You almost forget, you know?
Fine. Now, a lot of that is Bowen Byram, I think, really coming into his own. Jack Johnson playing better than I think we thought he was capable of, frankly. Eric Johnson's been steady back there, but Josh Manson has been a factor in every game.
Yeah.
Every game that I've watched,
Yep.
man. It's just a really fortunate pickup because you never know when you're going to lose someone.
And the mistakes from Tampa, I was just looking back to jog my memory.
Palata had
The over the glass penalty by Sergachev early in the game. That's the Avalanche coming out so hot, which they do spectacularly in the first period, and forcing Sergachev to make a play, try and get the puck out of the zone, and it goes right over the glass, and they capitalize on the power play there. And then you start the game with another roughing penalty by Corey Perry against Darcy Kemper because he's trying to make something.
that was a wild visual.
God bless Corey Perry, because every time John Cooper sends him out there, you see him running around trying to make something happen. He's trying to get the team going.
I would like to talk about that.
Okay.
I would like to talk about Jared Spurgeon for a moment. Why do we talk
I know
about
exactly where you're going.
Why do we talk about Jared Spurgeon earlier in the playoffs, guys? Why do we talk about Jared Spurgeon?
Okay.
Because he tried to break an opponent's ankle.
Pavel Buchnevich. Hopefully I pronounced that right, but if not, leave it in the comments that I won't read.
Buchnevich.
Oh, is
Steve,
it?
No, I mean,
okay.
Can you do an impression of the YouTube channel trying to say Pavel Buchnevich?
Can you please look that up? See if he does it.
Pavo. Buchnevich.
So,
Pavel
if you remember, I
Buchnevich.
believe it was the first round, Jared Spurgeon basically cross-checked Pavel Buchnevich's
Literally.
Achilles. His Achilles tendon in his ankle, the back of your ankle. Feel the back of your ankle right now. Touch it. Touch it. You're not touching it. Touch it.
Harry.
Touch it.
I'm touching it.
Okay? That.
Stop yelling.
Touch it.
I'm touching it.
Okay.
I'm caressing it.
Now, how much protection is there for your Achilles?
Does hair count as protection?
No.
Well, then not a lot.
Not a lot, right? And Jared Spurgeon cross-checked that underneath the skate part and did not get any sort of issue. I don't think he even got fined, did he? I don't remember.
$5,000.
Okay,
Yeah,
$5,000.
It costs $5,000 to try to break your opponent's ankle.
Okay, there you go. So Corey Perry, you saw what he did to JT Compher's ankle, right?
Yeah,
where he got up
kneeled right on it,
his
full
knee.
weight.
Nobody gets up. So he was pressing his knee down on JT Compher's leg.
Yeah.
And trying to quote unquote get up after a scrum in front of the net.
No, he's a shithead.
Nobody gets up using their knee to push down on the ground. You get up a million different ways, but that's not it, especially in hockey.
He's a shithead.
And he was being a shit. But here's the thing. Obviously, he's trying to quote unquote get something done. But I got to ask the question.
Okay.
If Corey Perry loses his third straight cup, will he deserve it?
Absolutely 100%.
When you do shit like that,
I'll revel in it.
shit like that, listen, I picked the Lightning, and I've been cheering for Corey Perry, but that's such a bullshit play in a 7-0 game.
I will
Why?
revel in it. I'll revel in it because, and it's a monument to how great of a career he's had. That I will revel in it. You know, he won the Stanley Cup in 2007. He's already got it.
Yeah, he's got a cup.
Yeah, I mean, he's won a cup.
And if he wins another,
Hard to
I'll
do.
be happy for him.
I won't. I don't like him. I don't like
If
him.
he was a Leaf, because the Leafs a couple years
He's
ago,
not, is he?
it-
They had the option
they had-
between
it
him
was
and
Simmons
and
or
they took
Corey Perry, and they took Simmons.
Yeah.
Oops. Because his regular season numbers were garbage, and he turns into just the alpha shithead in the playoffs. And
Alpha shithead, that's good.
We've had this conversation, and I'm speaking confidently because I understand my feelings. So I'm going to try to convey to people the realization I've had. We've had this conversation with Brad Marchand before. And yeah, but didn't you see this clip where he did this nice thing, and this clip where he did this nice thing, and this nice tweet he sent? Listen, there's a difference between you being a bad person and you being... I can't say bad hockey player because he's not bad at hockey. And I can't say shitty hockey player.
He's definitely
what if
not
you're
shitty.
a bad person hockey player? or just you're a bad person on the ice.
Yeah. I think it's fair.
Like, call it what it is. Corey Perry on the ice in an NHL uniform. Off the ice, he can be whatever he wants. I'm sure he tips well at restaurants and shit, and he's very... Oh, actually, sorry, do you have the...
Well, actually, his teammates love him. Article by so-and-so at the website.
I'm sure Corey Perry has ordered something, had the wrong thing come to him, and eaten it anyway. He is Canadian after all. I'm sure he's a nice guy in his regular everyday life. Corey Perry, when he puts on skates in an NHL uniform and hits the ice, is a bad person. I say that confidently and willingly, and he'd say... That's the nicest thing anyone's ever said.
Be like Brad Marchand.
His nickname is the Rat. Or the Weasel or whatever it is. Or some sort of animal that is generally considered an insult.
Steve, is he a piss?
He's a PIS. Person intentionally trying to injure somebody. Like he's...
Person who is intentionally shitty.
Yeah. Yeah. And right now I'm sure you're in the comments like, what about this guy? Yes, them too.
Yeah.
Yes, them too.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I mean,
I cheered for Nazem Kadri as a member of the Toronto Maple Leafs. I'm cheering for him individually on the Colorado Avalanche right now. I cheered for him on the Leafs for many years and years. I like Nazem Kadri. He seems like a great guy. I will never defend him on the ice as a great person.
No, he's tough to play against.
Tough to play against.
Shitty.
He's got like a magnet for players' temples. Like Tom Wilson. There's another guy who seems like a great guy off the ice. I've never heard a bad story about him. I've seen lots of footage of him braining guys, though. And I have to compartmentalize that. So there are aspects to hockey. This was an interesting conversation I had with Justin Bourne. I think it was about it was about the Jared Spurgeon thing.
Okay.
With Pavel Buchnevich. I was like, he's trying to injure an opponent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How is he not getting punished for intentionally trying to injure an opponent? And Justin Bourne made the observation, well, you are allowed to try to injure your opponent. You are. It's a contact
You're
sport.
allowed to hit people very hard. You're allowed to stick check. All these things are illegal.
There are rules.
Yeah.
There are rules. You may try to injure your opponent in the following ways.
Mm-hmm. No, it's a contact sport. He's very right.
Yeah. And you are allowed to try to injure your opponent. I think, as silly as this sentence is, the way Corey Perry tries to injure his opponents is less honorable than others. There was one that wasn't talked about where he got shoved into Darcy Kemper. Mm-hmm. He propelled himself forward 100%. And he's going after the goalie's knees. And yeah, he's trying to injure his opponent on the ice. He's not a good person. Do I want him to play for my team? Fucking A rights.
Oh, yeah. It's going to help you win.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Should he be in the Hall of Fame when it's all said and done? I've said it lots of times. There's no such thing as the Hockey Hall of Great Guys.
Corey Perry is the first ballot Hall of Famer.
Has to be.
Yeah. He's won a cup. He's won a Hart Trophy. He's won gold medals. He's played X amount of playoff games and scored X amount of points and goals. And
I'm glad the conversation went this way because that was what I was conflicted about. When I brought it up, like, if he loses his third straight cup, will he deserve it? And the answer is yes, but also it's like, I can't help but cheer for him.
Well, this is why I've made the argument in the past for players getting in based on their credentials. Mm-hmm. Well, but what about this and that and that? Okay, well, we're going to have to yank some guys out of the hall then.
Yeah.
We're going to have to take some guys
out of the hall. There was a guy who went into the Baseball Hall of Fame, which is even more of a weird one. And like he had like a sub 500. He's like a reliever with a sub 500 record, and he's in the Baseball Hall of Fame. And meanwhile, like some of the best hitters ever, steroids or not, can't get in.
I can almost guarantee that guy told fucking amazing jokes. Told great stories. Had a firm handshake.
Jesse and Steve, when I saw the game, I wanted to ask you guys this immediately, and I didn't ask you over text. Would you have pulled Andrei Vasilevsky? Would you have pulled Andrei Vasilevsky after goal 3? Guys, yes or no?
Not after goal 3.
After goal 4, which I believe was
Nichushkin's
second goal.
Who scored number 5?
Darren Helm.
Yeah, that's the one where I'm like, okay, I think your night's done.
And that would have been before the third period.
Yeah, Nichushkin, if I'm not mistaken, was a good passing play.
Like, we got to let Jesse answer some too.
No.
No on those two. Okay.
No.
So Darren, no Nichushkin, no Darren Helm.
No. The two Cale
Makar, you've already pulled. Steve.
Oof.
Oh, yeah, you've already pulled.
Okay.
No, I
No.
considered it.
Okay.
John
No.
Cooper's
No.
quote was,
No, I know I got his quote.
The
But I want to
reason
know. I want to ask you guys whether you would have pulled him or not.
the
Can't-
reason
full five.
I don't pull Andrei Vasilevsky is because he has a streak going of longest playoff starts without being pulled ever, and he's like, I don't know, 20 games or something away from. He's at like 80, and I think the all-time record is like 100 or something like that. And I, just out of honoring the record and seeing how high he can get up on the list, I think he's like third or fourth on. I forget the graphic, but just out of the respect to that list, I don't pull him ever. Let him play forever.
That makes John Cooper's quote make a lot more sense then. I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
Yeah.
He said, even if I did try to pull him out, I don't think he would have come out. That's the competitor he is. He's the best goalie in the world. He's our guy. Now, I mean, I respect the fact that John Cooper respects Vasilevsky enough, because not every coach would care. I respect him that he respects that enough. Is it a Vasilevsky problem? Because people said game 1, he's a little shaky. Game 2, it's like, holy shit, 7 goals. Or are the Tampa Bay Lightning not playing elite level hockey, which is what John Cooper would have you believe, which is also a quote.
Putting Brian Elliott into that game doesn't help you win that game.
yeah,
It might give Vasilevsky a break.
I don't think he wants it.
Yeah, I don't think that helps him.
So 2015, I think it was Pete Blackburn made a meme of Ben Bishop, but he basically photocopied a zombie cut in half from The Walking Dead in the Tampa crease. Ben Bishop was so injured, and they refused to put, ironically, young backup Andrei Vasilevsky in.
No way.
Yep. He did eventually get into at least one game in the final, I think. But they were going with him. Come hell or high water.
It was their guy.
If on the way back to Tampa, the Lightning forgot Andrei Vasilevsky's equipment in Denver, he would play game 3 in street clothes. He's playing. Unless he's injured, which he doesn't look hurt to me.
And he's allowed to have a bad couple games.
Yeah.
The team didn't have a great
He
game.
had a bad series against the Leafs. Bad straight
By
up
his
series.
standards, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then was like, game 6 came around and he's like,
It's me.
all right, it's me. And
me.
he's fine. But yeah, if he was hurt, I would say get him the rest. Seems fine.
I have some trivia for you, both of you. Okay? Because it's usually me versus Steve. Now Jesse gets a turn.
I have trivia too.
Okay.
Based on this game.
Maybe it's the same question.
It's not going to be.
Only one other Stanley Cup game has a wider margin in terms of a shutout.
I do know the answer to this.
Can you name who played, what year, and what the score was?
It was the 1991 Stanley Cup Final.
That's correct.
And I only know this because I saw the graphic during the friggin' watch the Stanley Cup playoffs with Steve Dangle. So it would have been the Pittsburgh Penguins beating, it was the Minnesota North Stars.
That's right.
Wow.
8-0.
Well done.
8-0.
People forget the North Stars had a really good team and for some reason left Minnesota. That's still one of the most surprising, stupid things that's ever happened in the
Came
NHL. The Penguins that year had 6 yet to be Hall of Famers. Or they had 6 Hall of Famers that year, and Jaromir Jagr also as well. So, you know.
Who are the Hall of Famers?
I'd have to look up the roster. 1991.
Mario Lemieux. Mario, sorry,
Pittsburgh.
Sidney Crosby.
I would imagine that
young Crosby.
you probably got Lemieux, you probably got Larry Murphy, you probably got Paul Coffey, you probably got Ron Francis.
Kevin Stevens?
Wait, when did Kevin Stevens maybe?
Ryan Trottier?
Trottier for sure. Maybe that's it right there.
Oh, yeah.
Was Mark? No, Recchi would have been on the Habs.
And
Jagr, who's not in the Hall
wait,
yet,
but what
which
about
is funny.
John Cullen could have been too because he was
Maybe.
yeah.
Let's guess. Let's not look up the answer. I want to guess.
Yeah, Lemieux, Murphy's in there. Larry Murphy made it in. I'm not going to look
That's
it up.
what I want to do.
Hey, my favorite name of all time played on that team, Zarley Zalapsky.
Hey,
The best-
Zarley Zalapsky is etched into the Stanley Cup.
Yep.
What a league.
Yeah.
Love it.
Lastly here, Stamkos. It's always interesting to hear what Stamkos
He was on that team?
was not yet playing in the NHL. He's drafted that year. Stamkos.
Washed up.
About the Lightning.
Drafted by his parents.
That was totally not acceptable, especially at this time of year. Listen, people are going to be watching this game tonight, probably think the series is over, Jesse. But our group, we're a very resilient group. So whether it's 1-0 or 7-0 or 10-0, it's a loss in the playoffs and you got to move on. We've got to man up as a team and as people. Let's get back home in front of our fans and let's see what they're made of. So let me ask you this, guys.
Oh, challenge.
What are the Tampa Bay Lightning, who have done this before? They did it last round against the Rangers. What are they made of? What happens in Tampa over the next 2 games? And I'm going to hold both of you to this. What happens?
They fire absolutely everything at the net, no matter where it is. No matter where it's from, no matter how far out it is, because Colorado is giving them fits off the rush. Tampa isn't able to do shit offensively. So what they're going to try to do is they're going to try to get a lot of ozone draws, win it back, throw some shit on, hope it goes off a leg or an ankle, and it goes in. That's the only way I see they have a path to beating Colorado.
Jesse Blake.
So funny that you brought up throwing things on the net, because that was the trivia I wanted to talk about, just to demonstrate how dominant Colorado was last game. So during the first period, Colorado, I won't even do it as trivia, I'll just say the stat. During the first period, Tampa had 5 shots on goal. All 5 of those shots came outside of 33 feet from the net.
Except for one. I remember this stat. Yeah.
No, all 5 of those. The 6th shot on goal was the first one inside of 33 feet.
Oh, yes.
When did the 6th shot on goal happen? There's the trivia.
7 minutes into the second.
13 minutes left in the second period.
Wow!
The Tampa Bay Lightning finally got a shot within close range of the net.
It was near the end of the first period, Adam, and the Colorado Avalanche still had more goals than the Lightning had shots.
Yeah.
Oh,
I was able to watch this one live.
well, I didn't. In person? You were
No,
in Denver?
no, but I sometimes
was
have to
the
watch
air.
it the next game or the next day, right? Because if it's too late, certain periods, I have to go to bed.
Jesse asked a very valuable question.
How's the air in Denver when you were there watching the game live on Saturday?
Smells like weed, and also it's thin.
Smells like freedom.
Yeah.
Mountain freedom. And kokanee.
No, but it's... hey, you don't besmirch kokanee.
Kokanee's a Canadian beer, I think, though. Isn't it?
Out west. It was at the Winnipeg wedding that I went to.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
I was like, hey, you guys have kokanee?
good
I haven't
kokanee.
seen that in years. Anyway.
What were we talking about?
Oh, yeah. Tampa will have these brief bursts where they're like, we're going to hit everything. And then you see them building momentum. You're like, oh. And then they would get into the scraps after the whistle. And you see them, oh. And then it just...
And then Josh Manson, head manning the puck, snap, goal.
It just went away.
Yeah.
So I guess game 3 will tell us whether or not the air is a factor, because they look exhausted.
You should have been adjusted by then. They landed there on... What was it? Because Saturday was Rangers. They got there like Monday.
Better part of a week.
Game 1 was Wednesday.
Yeah.
No excuses for the air.
Better part of a week. And
Yeah.
I am going to throw this out there.
Mhm.
You're probably wondering, this is good. You guys are on a good little streak of not talking about the Leafs. Well,
Nah.
here's how it affects them.
Okay, all right.
So the Atlantic was monstrous this year. It was monstrous. Florida was unbelievable. Tampa finished behind the Leafs, actually.
Yep.
Leafs were really good. Tampa was really good. Boston was really good and still only held on to a wild card spot. We already know Boston is going to be missing a bunch of players for the first few months of next year, including their top defenseman, their top left winger. I think there's another defenseman. I wonder, no matter how this series goes, if Tampa goes, all right, we just went to 3 straight finals. We did it in a more compressed way than anyone ever has. This guy's getting surgery, this guy, and I wonder if they're a wild card team next year. Because
and then everybody comes back to the playoffs.
Well, yeah, but they'll legit be healed by then.
Sure.
Maybe.
Maybe.
We'll see.
Not fully.
But there's so many guys would anyone, if I named any member of the Tampa Bay Lightning and said they're getting surgery once the season's done, would you bat an eye?
No.
All right.
No.
Braden Point.
Yeah, Jan Ruda needs a full body replacement. Something, just crazy.
You see when Stamkos went hard into the boards
Yeah.
with his hips and just, and Hedman doesn't look right at all. Colorado's done a great job with him. Point. Everyone just looks mangled.
Also, I have to tell you, I not talking about the Leafs or whatever, I do think the Leafs, and we'll talk about it later on, but I do think the Leafs need to do everything they can to try to win the division next year and not have to play a team like Tampa. But wouldn't it be hilarious if they did? Hilarious, right? Fucking hilarious. That'd be hilarious.
It should be them in Florida for the division.
Yes, it should. But
in the regular season, it should.
I think in seeing all this, I do really realize you obviously the Leafs and Avs play like once a year, and you see the Avs play other teams twice a year, maybe.
You play every team twice.
I don't know. Other than Tampa, I don't know another team in the East that could even have come this far. And it's not like Tampa's done well. But I mean, the Avalanche playing the way they're playing without Kadri, I think the Leafs would have been dismantled the same way. They're a faster skating team, and when they used that against Tampa, it was great. But the Avalanche are even faster than that. And I think what makes the Avalanche so fucking scary is they're so mobile on the back end. You can't.
So mobile on the back end, and their depth is fast.
Yes.
What they don't necessarily have in skill, like, they've been flirting with the idea of taking Alex Newhook out of the lineup. Fuck, he can fly.
Yeah, he can.
Nico Sturm, Andrew Cogliano, who just got back into the lineup. Burakovsky can fly. Nicolau Bay-Kubel. How about Darren Helm?
Yeah.
What a shot, apparently.
Yeah.
First playoff goal since I looked up the stats.
The Ice Age.
Sorry?
The Ice Age.
The Ice Age.
Second
It was 17.
one.
Yeah, well, there you go. So for a long time, what Colorado has lost an important defenseman in Sam Girard and their second line center in Nazem Kadri. We're going to leave Cogliano out of this discussion because those are two pillars of your team. We can go through the teams in the East. We can go through the teams in the West. Teams don't survive that.
No.
They just don't. You're not supposed to. It's a miracle Tampa is in the final sans Braden Point. They got here. How did you win 2 entire series, including one where you were down 2 goals, and one where you swept the division winners without Braden Point? He makes $9.5 million. How many teams are losing a guy like that and winning? That's why you gotta, even though Tampa, stuffed Nikita Kucherov in a broom closet to fit him under the cap and have him in the playoffs. Dude, they made the playoffs. They got a division playoff spot, not even a wild card. They got a division playoff spot with their most highly paid forward on the shelf. Intentionally. No team can do that.
No.
No team can do that. So Colorado being, we focus on their top end talent. They got depth that no team can really fuck with.
All right, let's get over to You Can Bet That. As always, you can find responsible gaming tips on the description of this video or description of where you get your podcast. We're going to be talking about some odds going into the next game, which are closer than you think. 19 plus as always, and please play responsibly. You Can Bet That. David Bastel. Listen, a very, very surprising, we've touched on this already, very surprising game 2. Game 3 tonight. Who do the odds favor? This is a little closer than I would have thought, considering it was 8-0. Sorry, 7-0.
7. Yeah. Only a touchdown.
Yeah, that's right.
You know what? I'm kind of surprised by this as well, but I guess a lot of it has to do with home ice, which makes a lot of sense in the postseason. And we've seen a recipe for success with Tampa Bay falling to the Rangers, falling to the Leafs on opposition ice, coming home to make ground. Well, odds makers are saying that too right now at Sports Interaction. Right now, the Tampa Bay Lightning, surprise, surprise, the favorites in game number 3. You can get them at a 1.89. Colorado almost a 2. You get them 1.95. So they're kind of thinking the trend continues, guys. I don't know about you guys, but does Tampa Bay come back and actually make this a series after the embarrassment that was game 2?
They would have to enter that new nearly impossible superhuman territory to come back if they were to lose game 3. I kind of see them winning game 3 just because I just Tampa getting swept. That's so 2019.
100%.
I just don't see it happen.
Yep. Me neither.
Okay, and then the second thing that we got to talk about is a Conn Smythe Trophy. Because, listen, the favorite right now is Cale Makar, but there are some surprising candidates with a lot of value.
There are. Now, the thing is, though, when you look at what the odds are with Cale Makar, it's at a 1.44 right now. That's telling me that the Conn Smythe has already been edged with an M and an A. Like the odds are, like, you remember probably about a week ago, the three or the four of us were talking about Nathan McKinnon, Cale Makar, neck and neck. And now it's not even close, really. So a little bit of value on Nathan McKinnon at a 4.83. Rantanen, same price. And the one we're seeing a little bit of a boost is Valerie Nichushkin. If I'm saying that right, I'm going to screw that up.
I think you got it.
Nichushkin, I'm not sure. The choo-choo.
Yeah, no, exactly. You can get it at about a 20. So 20.17. And he seems to be a little bit of a flavor of the day, considering he scored a couple goals last game. But let's consider this, though. 13 points, nice postseason, 22nd overall in scoring. Not bad, but he's not a Conn Smythe winner. So you are really, really trying to throw it out there as a you know what, he's going to have a massive next two games, because I just don't see this happening.
Yeah, that pick's really value-y, Nichushkin.
Oh, boo. Boo. Don't encourage that, Dave. Hey, thanks so much for coming on today.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
Since incorporating Magic Spoon into my daily routine, and I wake up early, I have noticed fewer cravings throughout the day and more energy to hold me over till lunch. And I have to eat lunch right before these guys show up for the podcast. It's always a double show day.
You have a weird schedule.
It's a weird one. And thank goodness for Magic Spoon with its 0 grams of sugar, 13 to 14 grams of protein, only 4 net grams of carbs, and only 140 calories per serving. It's keto-friendly, it's gluten-free, it's grain-free, and it's low-carb. Go to magicspoon.com, and the promo code is STP.
Tell me about the cookies and cream.
You should try it. magicspoon.com/STP. Get a custom bundle of cereal. And Magic Spoon is so confident in their product, is back with a 100% happiness guarantee. So if you don't like it for any reason, although who wouldn't like cookies and cream, they'll refund your money, no questions asked. Remember, next delicious bowl of guilt-free cereal needs to come from magicspoon.com/STP. Use the promo code STP. Save $5 off. Thank you, Magic Spoon. Hey, you already know that with the promo code DANGLE, you could go to where?
Manscaped.com.
That's right. Thank you, Jesse. And you can get what, Jesse? Because Steve doesn't know.
I panicked.
Lawnmower 4.0. 20% off.
20% off the
And
Lawnmower
free shipping.
4.0. And free shipping. That's right. And the promo code is what, Steve?
Dangle!
How do you spell it?
What the DANGLE?
That's right.
Is your own name?
It struck me as a strange question.
GLYNN.
There's no Glenn promo code. No one cares who that guy is.
Get 20% off and free shipping with the promo code DANGLE at manscaped.com. That's 20% off and free shipping with the code DANGLE at manscaped.com. It's time to get wet and clean with your new Manscaped shower routine. Hey, Steve.
Butt fun.
That's good.
How has your butt been doing lately?
It's round and luscious.
How about you, Jesse? How's your butt doing?
It's been fantastic because it's prepping for a Summer of J's games.
And where do you get your tickets, Jesse?
Oh, baby, SeatGeek.
Oh, no, just SeatGeek, not Baby SeatGeek.
Oh, okay.
What?
No, I was just saying it's a very good transition.
Okay, well,
it's ruined now.
SeatGeek is beloved by so many butts around the world, including Jesse's. It's baseball, it's concerts, it's basketball, it's football, it's festivals. Whatever it is you're doing this summer, check out SeatGeek, and you can get $20 off your first purchase with the promo code SDP at SeatGeek.com or using the SeatGeek app. Again, promo code SDP for $20 off your first SeatGeek order. SeatGeek, take your seat to a seat. Download the app today.
The Rogers Center needs softer seats.
Well, bring a pillow.
John Tortorella, coach of the Philadelphia Flyers. It seems apropos, doesn't it?
It sounds right.
It feels right. And apparently, according to John, it's exactly what he wanted. So he said back in 2004, we were fortunate enough. I was coaching Tampa, and we went through Philly to win the Stanley Cup, beating the Philly in the conference finals. And I remember telling my wife, man, this is a place I would love an opportunity to be and coach. The passion of the people, the building, everything about the city, it was neat for me. I remember my first meeting with Chuck when we started this. He wore a shirt with the emblem, and I said, man, that's where I want to be. And even though the Flyers are not playing like the Flyers should, like they're not playing the Flyers brand.
They will.
He coaches the Flyers brand, does he not?
Yeah. 100%. 100%. The Flyers, I'm telling you, they're going to make a bunch of moves this offseason, and a lot of the stat heads are going to be like, that's fucking stupid.
Mm-hmm.
like almost every decision, and John Tortorella is going to do what John Tortorella does and drag them to a wild card spot or something. with like the worst looking team you've ever seen on paper and an overachieving goalie.
They've said that Chuck Fletcher said that he liked the fact that Torts has a rap sheet for being. Excuse me. He likes the fact that Torts has a reputation for being demanding. And essentially, here's what he said about it. Chuck Fletcher, that is. Ultimately, he said players will respond if they know you're demanding. But if you're demanding in a sense that you care about them, you want what's best for them, you're not demanding for yourself, blah, 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 bunch of word salad. But essentially what he's saying is, too, we're not going to keep players here that won't live up to those. Structure is going to be a huge focus. They talked about that. Defense comes first, not at the expense of offense, but ask Patrick Laine about that. Mm-hmm. One of the things that I think is going to be very interesting is where Carter Hart finds himself through this.
Because goalies got to stop the damn puck.
Goalies do well in the Torts system. Hello. Goalies do really well.
Set that off.
Goalies do well in the Tortorella system. I mean, you look at what happened with Columbus and their goalies, right? Great development.
Yep.
2 good goalies. Amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Does Carter Hart become the Carter Hart we thought he might be able to be?
Yeah, but you got to get him a friggin' backup. You got to get him a good backup who I think he might be a little too old for the whole mentor thing, but just someone calm who can play games and not be shitty. Like, it feels like that should be somewhat easy to find. Someone to split the net with him. Someone who understands that it's going to be Carter Hart's net one day, but wants to actively keep the net away from him. You got to have a goalie who wants to play.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So they're not going to undermine him, but they want to outperform him. Get a goalie to compete with Carter Hart. John Tortorella is going to be challenging Carter Hart every day. Well,
and Cam Atkinson, who tweeted, by the way, you made that joke about Cam Atkinson, is probably like, no! Apparently they're actually really good friends, and he or not friends, but Cam now enjoys playing for Torts. And he said,
behind the scenes, I've heard nothing but rave reviews from players who play for him.
He said, I think it all starts with practice. You practice how you play, and that's especially when I turned pro. I learned that from John Tortorella. And Tort said, when I got to Columbus, Cam was being sat out. I'm not sure what happened. Cam was stubborn, and I like his stubbornness. I think players of that quality, what he has to do with his size, is a player in the NHL that can be top notch. So there's a little bit of love there. And Tort said there's more there with Kevin Hayes. And I thought this was interesting.
Really tough season for Kevin Hayes.
Chuck Fletcher, yeah, of course, considering what happened with Familial.
Yeah.
But the one thing I thought was the most interesting at all this, because I'm reading the Broad Street Hockey sort of breakdown, but I watched the press conference, and my thing was the Flyers have acted like not only are they going to be playoffs, but they're going to be a top tier team for 3 years now. Every year, Chuck Fletcher, I mean, he's been there, what, 2.5? I can't even tell, but every year they come out.
The one?
No, has it been just the one?
I think so.
Okay, well, whatever. There's a lot of bluster coming out of Philadelphia, big signings, and, some big moves with Ellis last year and whatever. And
Fletcher was named general manager in 2018.
Yeah, I thought so.
Of the Flyers?
Of the Flyers. And then
because he signed the Hayes deal and the Ellis deal.
He was the general manager 2018 to present. Then he was executive vice president plus GM 2018 to 2019. So the same time he signed those deals. And then president of hockey operations 2019 to present. So he's GM and president of hockey operations, Chuck Fletcher, since 2018/19.
Damn. Can I chalk that one up to COVID?
Yeah.
Like, holy shit.
Yeah. Of course. Like what? But
Go ahead,
like
Adam.
you don't have to know that. Like it's
yes, I do.
You don't have to know that. And
yes,
I do. You don't have Google in front of you right now. But Fletcher's been there a while, and it's blustery, right? Before the season starts, they're always like, "Let's go," and that's why I think Flyers fans are so upset because it's like you've told us to get amped up for this team, and you've sold us bullshit. It's been a terrible. This is not Philadelphia Flyers hockey. And Torts in the press conference said, "Temper your expectations. It's not. We're not there yet."
I think they're going to go out and buy again this offseason. And I think they'll kind of be better by default because Ryan Ellis played 4 games.
Yeah.
I have more fingers on my right hand than Ryan Ellis played games. And Sean Couturier as well coming back.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, they're just going to be healthier. And I think just overall, everybody's going to play better just by default, new head coach. And then Chuck Fletcher, because he can't help himself and has too much money because the ownership decides to give him all this money, he's going to go out and buy. They might sign Nazem Kadri. And all of a sudden, they're in a wild card spot.
It's one thing when your team's trash. It's another thing when your team underachieved. I would file the Flyers under they underachieved based on the way they're.
I think they were trash and underachieved.
I mean,
I think they were bad.
Rasmus Ristolainen was
Whoa,
not a great
disaster move.
You know,
it was. I think.
Oh, that's good. You know what? How he plays under Torts is going to be fascinating.
It's going to be fascinating. But I think the Philadelphia Flyers. Under the main dish is underachieved, and there's trash to dip it in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, okay.
I think they're more.
There's more there. And you know, what could they get this year? They could bring Johnny Gaudreau close to home.
Potentially.
They could bring, unless he goes to Jersey, they could bring Nazem Kadri in on a big fat contract. They're going to do a bunch of things that could really change the trajectory. For me,
under Torts, huh?
Oh yeah. Problem I have is their defense, man. Their defense. Alice got to be healthy. Ristolainen's. I don't understand the dissonance with Rasmus Ristolainen because you've got people who are into stats where like this guy is really he's just a guy, and then you've got people within the game who are like he's great. Look at this big fat extension we're going to sign him to and give up a first round pick. Buffalo was like that. Now Philly's like that. Where is he? What is he?
I think with Ristolainen, you see all the tools. We've seen him score highlight reel goals. He's big. He's nasty. The tools are there. His decision making is interplanetary. Like I don't know why he does half the things he does, and it leads to horrendous numbers against. It leads to his team getting outshot when he's on the ice, getting outscored when he's on the ice. And a lot of that is the way he was developed in Buffalo, in my opinion. Look at the leaps and strides that Rasmus Dahlin made in season this year. Because Buffalo, like in one fell swoop, started to pull their heads out of their ass.
Yep.
So I think a big reason Ristolainen is the way he is a lack of
development or anything in Buffalo in the last decade
or anything. Right. And Torts, who knows? Maybe Torts looks at the skill set that Ristolainen has and he goes, give me that. I could have some fun with that. The one thing I'm going to say, and I did criticize the Flyers about this, I remember many months ago. Ryan Ellis is out of the lineup. Yeah. You knew that might happen, man. If any player might get hurt, this player who has been hurt often in recent memory might get hurt and did.
And he's in his 30s.
That's your fault. Like I have sympathy for him. I have sympathy for Ryan Ellis.
Sure.
Seems like a good guy.
Yeah.
I don't have sympathy for the Flyers for having to go through that. You knew that was potentially going to be a problem. And there it was. So when you say, when you go through how the Flyers can do better next season and you're like, well, Ryan Ellis has to be healthy. Okay, well then they're fucked. Like you're leaving way too much up to chance.
Yeah.
You got to go out and support Ryan Ellis.
Yeah, you mentioned their back end there, Adam, and how that needs to be better. You need guys like Provorov and Sineham to take the next step. Like it's about time you're 25, 26. It's either you're gonna be there and you're gonna be the stalwarts on the back end that we need you to be and take this team to the playoffs, or like we're gonna give up on you.
I think Provorov's
it's about
gone.
time.
I think he's gone with a capital G.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
It's a big contract, $6.75 million for the next 3 years. So they're gonna find somebody who's gonna be a taker, but it's an interesting move if they want to get rid of him. There's piece you can get a lot of pieces back for.
Yeah. I'm gonna say whispers, not rumblings, but yeah, Provorov whispers.
Okay.
Whispers.
Well, like trade whispers?
Yeah.
That would be amazing.
No.
Leafs call.
There's no
Konechny
restrictions.
and Provorov, one deal. Let's go.
It's not Leafs. There's no restrictions there. They can't afford the contract. There's no restrictions there on like a no move or no trade or anything, so they're free to move them if they want.
There you go.
I'm actually updating this as of a few minutes ago. We know that Pete DeBoer has been linked to the Stars, and I say linked because some people said he was the coach. He's not yet the head coach. Contract is not done.
Ooh.
4 years, $4 million per.
So he's the head coach.
That's what they're saying. They're working. They're hammering away.
He's the head
in
coach.
the words of Pierre
Because
LeBrun.
that's the limbo that we were in with Torts on like Thursday.
Yeah.
When
And
everyone's like, yeah. So
So
All
Stars
that's
fans,
extra.
Stars fans do not seem happy about this, and they're blaming Pavelski. And I don't know if that's totally fair. He played for him in San Jose.
See, DeBoer's been with a bunch of teams.
New Jersey, San Jose, Vegas, and now Dallas.
He's been to the Stanley Cup Final with 3 different teams
Right.
and lost them all, I believe. Yeah, the Devils, the Sharks,
Now,
and no,
The
not
Knights.
Vegas.
yeah.
okay.
Was he the
In the
coach who
bubble.
went to the final?
Yeah. He's been to the
Oh,
Stanley
conference final.
Cup. Yeah. Conference final 3 times.
Yeah, Gallant took them to the Stanley Cup final, right?
I believe so.
Yeah. 2 times Stanley Cup final. 1 time conference final with the Golden Knights.
Yeah. So Pete DeBoer, what do we make about this change in Dallas? Only because Dallas has been a defense first team for a long, long time.
Mm-hmm.
Is Pete DeBoer going to be a defense first kind of coach, or does the identity of the Dallas Stars change to more what it was in the late 90s, which is high scoring, hard hitting?
I mean, people underrate how good Vegas was defensively. They sort of built around that too. We're going to go out. We're going to get Pietrangelo. We're going to get Martinez. We're going to get Mark Stone, who's good defensive forward up front. So I don't think it's one or the other with DeBoer. I think he generally coaches well-rounded
Does he make
teams.
that team better?
Yeah.
You think they're better?
I think
The Dallas fans are depressed right now. I'm reading the tweets. People are like, please God. People are telling Pierre LeBrun to not tweet about it because it's ruining their Monday. I'm like, listen, the guy's had a pretty positive record, and I understand why people are like, the NHL passes around the same 40 guys as head coaches, and there's no new ideas. I agree with you. But as long as they're doing that, he's got a pretty good record, right?
last week, Andrew Berkshire and I recorded an episode of the Jesse Blake Sports Report where we ran down all of the opening coaching positions and we filled them in with coaches that are out there. For
Wow,
Dallas,
I can't believe how trash it was. It was trash.
for Dallas, we kind of put Pete DeBoer there, and we said a large part of that is his record in the past of getting the most out of teams and proving that he can win. Pete DeBoer has been to the conference finals 5 times in 10 years. That is an incredible record for a head coach. He's done a fantastic job with older cores who are ready to win, which I think Dallas looks at it and they're like, we still got an opportunity here. And I think Pete DeBoer can go in there and get the most out of these guys. I don't know why you'd be upset with this hiring.
So here's what's interesting too. So he actually coached 3 years in Florida. I forgot this from 08 to 11. But in the last, since 2015-16, when the Sharks lost in the Cup Final, Jesse mentioned all the appearances. Stanley Cup Finals, first round loss, second round loss, conference final loss, conference final lost, conference final lost.
5 times in 10 years, conference finals.
So he's gone,
Stanley Cup semifinals last year. Was that second round?
Because
that's second round.
yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
weird
the last,
season.
and then missed the playoffs.
1 year without
That is in 7 years.
winning a round.
That 7 years, he's 6 of them are in the playoffs, and 5 of those years, he's in the second round minimum.
You got to remember that Twitter is not real life, and Pete DeBoer is not a popular figure on hockey Twitter because of back-to-back years of his treatment of Marc-Andre Fleury.
Yeah, that's fair.
And then this year, his treatment of Robin Lehner. He's not a popular figure for those reasons. That's why the Stars fans' reaction doesn't match his record at all. Because I was thinking about that, and I was like, sort of, the way you rib a friend when something unfortunate happens to them. It's kind of funny watching like Grav go through it. Oh no, I don't want DeBoer. But then you look at his record, and you're like, okay, wait, why don't you want DeBoer?
Right.
though?
Mm-hmm.
And he's been unpopular.
He's a
Stars fans are like, we need to protect Jason Robertson with our whole heart. Like, we can't have somebody come in here and bully.
I don't think he's been.
bully our kid.
I mean,
that's not going to happen.
Jason Robertson doesn't play goalie, so he doesn't have to worry.
I'd be more worried about an unestablished player. Like, I understand that concern. Oh, you don't want this coach to come in and be a dick to this kid who's trying to break into the league. That's not Jason Robertson. He's like their top scorer.
Mm-hmm.
That's not good.
But I
Pete
think
DeBoer's not going to be like, hey, key to our offense.
No, but like Marc-Andre Fleury, you're like, that's the biggest star in the universe, and look what he did to him.
Asterisk goalie. A lot of head coaches and scouts and GMs, they don't know the first thing of what to do with a goalie. My favorite thing is talking to scouts and about this player, and they can tell you their blood type and just everything. And what about this guy on defense? Oh, wow. Blah, 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 blah. What about this goalie? Oh, hey, don't even ask me. Don't even ask me. And that's why you see some coaches, and maybe DeBoer's among them, be dicks to their goalies because they don't know the first thing about them. And they're like, listen, your job, go in, stop the puck. That's it. I don't.
What is it that Babs used to say before the game? Close the door, Mr. Whoever's going in the net.
Yeah.
It'd be like, he'd announce the starting lineup. It'd be like, close the door, Mr. Anderson. Like that, literally.
Yep. That's it.
Or
That's
Sheldon
it.
Keefe telling Steve Briere to fuck off.
Yeah. But so it's Sheldon Keefe literally just going through footage with Steve Briere. Why the fuck did that go in? Why did that go in? Why did that? All he sees is a puck going in. I mean, I'm sure it's a little bit less novice than it went behind him. Like, I'm sure he's seeing how the puck is going in. But generally speaking, teams hire goalie coaches and like goalie whisperers to evaluate this shit. Their coach doesn't know the first thing about it. Or if they do, they certainly don't care. He had a tough night, and he didn't even give a shit that Leonard was injured.
Isn't it funny that I just think it's so funny. Hockey's such a weird sport that you can hire a coach and he knows nothing about the single most important position in the sport.
Hockey should be called goalie. And
why are goalie coaches considered as? Because you could have your assistants run the offense and defense. Why can't you have a head coach that was a goalie coach? You never see that.
It's you
probably too nuanced.
It's happened.
You have situations in the NFL with head coaches who are like, I don't touch the defense. I have a defensive coordinator who handles that, and they do the play calling on the defensive end.
I don't handle half of it.
But you should at least be able to evaluate.
Sure.
If it's
they're all
it's
talent evaluators, you know?
Yeah, but like I think they'll see a bad one go in and they're like, oh, you really fucked us there. Like, you wish you stopped that.
Yeah.
Like that's
kind of felt like what Sheldon Keefe was saying that whole time.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Freddie is not good enough right now. Why isn't he good enough? Well, he's battling something. Cool. Well, he's playing though. So do we need to take him out? Is he ready? Is he not ready? Coaches don't have time for this. They're
trying to win games.
They're wired differently. They're
trying to piss.
Silent anxiety. They act like they have to piss at all times. Like they're
they
very
are fidgety,
twitchy
aren't they?
And very fidgety and irritable because they're just. Listen, this could have been an email. I have to go to the bathroom, and I think that's a coach in a nutshell. Listen, just stop the damn thing.
The contract thing with DeBoer, I was just looking at my notes from the show that we did. The dispute might be that because he's still owed $3.25 million from the Golden Knights through the 2023 season. So they have to factor that into his.
He's getting
contract.
a raise. He's getting $4 million.
Yeah, so they have to work out the situation where.
With the Golden Knights.
Yeah,
so the Golden Knights have to pay part of that.
Owe him $3.25 million through next season. So they have to work that into the next contract because of how.
So a lot of people don't know this, but it's probably a good chance to explain. So coach contracts are guaranteed. So when your favorite team fires a coach in the NHL, they pay him. So when you give him a 4-year deal and he's only there for 1.5, you're paying him the rest. And if another team wants to hire him, and let's say they want to give him a raise, so like with Pete DeBoer, Vegas and Dallas then have to chat and say, okay, how are we going to split it for the 1 year that you still owe him and we want him? And Dallas will, Vegas, I think what they can do, I think they can, I don't know if there's an ability to block, but there is some leverage that the former team has. And so what will end up happening here is Dallas and Vegas will fight over this, and Dallas and Vegas will end up splitting the money. So what will end up happening is Vegas will still pay half of the $3.125 million, and Dallas will pay that plus whatever it takes to get him, their half of that plus whatever it takes him to get to $4 million even.
Because you can't.
So they're paying 50% of 3.125 plus this.
Under the rules, you'd be like, oh, so why don't Dallas just pay him $3 million and then Vegas picks up the whole contract? You can't do that.
No.
That's against the rules.
Yeah.
You have to find a way to pay him the market value and what he's worth. And since that's already established there, you're going to have to pay him more now on top of what you already paid him. Because you can't just be like, oh, the other team's covering the bill.
Yeah.
That's
now,
against the rules.
If you're head coach Steve and you're being moved from Vegas to Dallas, You don't care. Your number is $4 million. They've agreed to give you $4 million. Who gives it to you? Who gives a shit?
Right.
What you need to know is Pete DeBoer is going to make $4 million next year.
Listen, I don't care who pays it. Just
4
make sure it
plus.
comes on time.
I want to ask you this. Okay.
Well, here, one more thing.
One more thing.
Pete DeBoer's goalie is Jake Ottinger. Some people are just really lucky.
He should take him out for drinks right away and be like, Jake, listen, I'm not what they say. He needs to do that right immediately. It ain't me.
Jake, I noticed that you stop most of the pucks that come your way, and that's my favorite thing about you.
Please keep what the hair I have left in my head in my head.
Do you have a dog? Don't tell me its name. I don't care. All I care about you is that you.
There you go.
You stop 96% of pucks.
On the topic of coaches, okay, and let's just talk about this in a environment that's competitive. You guys can relate to media coach, whatever. Okay, let's say you've taken over a prominent job from somebody who was fired over a previous infraction at their job. So they were very good at their job, and it's a prominent job, but they were fired over an infraction. And it doesn't, you know what? In a corporate setting,
Whatever it is.
you would never find out what that infraction is because that's all sealed, right? But you come in and you do such a great job with your corporate team that you actually win industry awards or at least industry recognition for the work that you've done. And your team is one of, if not the most highest performing within the company and within the industry. But the organization told you from the beginning, hey, listen, this is a fill and roll. We'll let you try to prove yourself here, but we are going to interview other candidates. And they start the interview process after you've done all the good things. Are you upset when you find out that after leading the team to a ton of great success, industry-wide recognition, a lot of people going, holy smokes, look at that, that's amazing. Are you upset that they are still then interviewing candidates for the job? Let's not talk about who this is, because I know that you know, but I just want to know, Jesse and Steve, are you upset?
I am upset because I can't help but feel like months and months of hard work are being erased from the equation because I performed poorly for 7 days.
That's not what part of the hypothesis. I asked you not to go there.
I didn't.
I asked you if you were upset.
That was my hype.
Okay, Jesse.
Yeah, I'm upset.
You're upset.
I'm very
probably
upset.
mad.
I'm very upset.
In this setting, you're Andrew Brunette.
Yep.
Interim head coach.
What?
Still interim head coach of the Florida Panthers.
Oh my god.
That's nuts.
Now, I understand in sports you got to do what you got to do.
I'd watch his documentary on Apple Plus.
Okay, well, just so we're saying, there's going to be people out there who are like, hey, listen, they played like shit against Tampa, and this guy's an interim head coach, and the team has to do what the team needs to do to get the best head coach in the door. Okay? But Cassidy's gone. Looks like Trotz is probably not going there. DeBoer's not going there. Tortorella's not going there. Interviewing all these people, none of them are going. But as Andrew Brunette, are you feeling like, come on, what else do you want from me? Because ultimately, other than the 7 days that Steve talked about, what could have gone better for the Panthers this year?
Playoff success.
They made it to the second round.
Now, you got to remember, Bill Zito is not in a good way because he was Teflon. And I'm going to go out and I'm going to get this guy and I'm going to give up whatever assets it takes to get him.
Claude Giroux.
And I'm going to go out and get that guy.
Jeff Petrie.
And no, the other one, Ben Sherratt.
Oh, sorry. That's right.
Ben Sherratt.
The other one,
I'm going to
the
go
other
out
one,
and
the
get
other
the
one.
other guy.
Less hockey, more cross-checking.
Yeah. And, well, apt. Anyway, I'm going to go out and get this guy, and I don't care what it costs because this is our year. And then you get swept in the second round.
By
The
Doesn't matter.
Florida loss.
no, but you get swept by Tampa.
I
who's
agree.
right.
The Florida loss
Ownership
to
doesn't give a
Tampa
shit.
looks worse than the Toronto loss to Tampa.
Yes.
Tampa,
Yes.
Toronto should feel better about how their season ended more than Florida should feel better about
Absolutely.
how their season ended, even though
Interesting.
one of those teams went to the second round, the other one lost in the first round. I think there's more positives to take away from Toronto's ending than Florida's ending.
Because, okay, as Leafs fans, we have to get out of our head about this whole one round thing. How much better is losing in the second round really? Leafs lose in the second round next year. Are we going to be high-fiving? I can tell you if we are, we're losers.
But we will.
Hey, no,
Because we are losing.
I'll
will
high
high
five
five.
after winning, but like then
I'll high five after the game, after round one ends.
No, sure.
like
We don't.
you're still
we don't
not even halfway there.
We don't high five when they lose. When have we ever done that? Why would that change?
No, when they were going for the first overall pick, we did. Yeah,
They won that. They won
Yeah.
that in a draw,
through losses.
but they won it.
Yeah.
They were the best losers,
They had the best,
and they
chances
won.
'cause-
They won that loss.
Anyway,
Florida's loss, it looked bad on Brunette.
it looked bad on Brunette. It looked bad on Zito. It looked bad on everyone. So here's the thing: Florida, over recent years, has borrowed a lot from the Chicago Blackhawks. They've like in terms of players, in terms of management, in terms of coaching, and they're borrowing another thing from the Chicago Blackhawks, which is overreacting to a sweep despite having a really good regular season. And they're doing that right now, potentially. Like, they're shopping Sergei Bobrovsky, which I'm not even saying is a bad idea. Retaining 50% might be. We're not going to bring back this all-star coach who got us... Didn't they win the President's Trophy?
Yep.
Or was it Colorado?
They won the President's Trophy.
So they won
this
the
year.
President's Trophy, our President's Trophy winning coach. And we're not going to bring him back because I feel embarrassed because I spent a bunch of draft picks and prospects and we fucking lost anyway. And I feel really bad about that. That's what happened to Chicago when they got swept by Pecorine and the Nashville Predators.
3 goals in
And
4 games.
And they've been dog shit ever since. Oh my God. There's another thing they borrowed from the Blackhawks, scoring just 3 goals in 4 games.
Yeah.
Weird. Was the goalie Finnish? He wasn't. But he'll be in the Hall of Fame.
The Coyotes have officially received the go-ahead to negotiate with Tempe City Council after an 8-hour meeting with the public on concerns about the new arena project in the entertainment district. Here are some of the things that you might want to know taking away from this. And I got to say, if the plan goes through as it's planned, and there was like a 90-page document submitted, and I can't believe that on a sports podcast, we're like, oh, how about this arena? But it's a big story with the Coyotes because there's a lot of people in Arizona that are Coyotes fans that really believe this is the time. And I want to believe it too. But remember, as an outsider, this is still the team that didn't pay their taxes on time.
You can forgive us, right?
Yeah. No, you can't, actually. There's a lot of people who are like, no, we can't forgive you no matter what.
It's weird that you don't think this is bad. I'm just going to say that on behalf of everyone else.
But the franchise took a big step forward, and they are now able to negotiate on a proposed development of about $2 billion, and it'll be a new arena, entertainment district, and residential units as well. So like condos, Soto Pop, basically. And I think what's fascinating about this,
reference.
it is a deep reference from South Park, but a good one.
It's a show called South Park. I don't know if you've heard of it.
The two sides apparently have already
Had a
started...
very limited run.
have started hashing out details. It's a 46-acre tract of land, but they're going to finance this entirely privately, and they're hoping to buy the land from the city. So oftentimes in these cases, if the city owns the land, they might just lease it to you and you build the building on top of it, but you're paying like a 100-year lease or something like that. They want to buy the land, and they're asking Tempe for direct some of the sales tax generated by the private real estate to pay for bonds with the land and the real estate. But basically, this is going to... Gutierrez and his team, the guys that own it, are paying for this themselves. That's what they're saying.
Good.
And I have to tell you, I haven't been impressed with it so far, but if there's one thing I'm really impressed with, it's billionaires paying for billionaire shit to make them richer. And I don't understand why this doesn't happen more.
I'm not going to say good for him. I'm going to say good for Tempe. They have the leverage here and they're using it. Good for the city of Tempe. Absolutely. Like, you're making a billionaire pay for stuff, which seems like the bare minimum, and it's super not.
Like
Any
Calgary,
Calgary fans? Yeah, there it is.
Calgary had an arena already approved that fell through because I think it was inflation.
Yeah, tried to manipulate several elections.
The deal didn't. Yeah, the team tried to manipulate several elections. They didn't account for inflation in the deal that they signed with the city and asked the city for more money, and the city said no.
Mm-hmm.
I respect it. You know, it's like when MLSE, when they expanded BMO Field here in Toronto, the organization didn't even bother going to the city asking for money. They spent the $50 million themselves because, listen, MLSE's got $50 million bucks.
Mm-hmm.
But also, it's sort of a bullshit thing, and they know in this city how that's going to play. And we saw with Pittsburgh, I think it was their new hockey arena. It caused cuts to several different things, including, I believe, education when they had to help pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just one of those things where it's a little detail, but I want to say thumbs up. I want, if the Coyotes are going to get, or if the Coyotes ownership, not the Coyotes players or their fans, if Coyotes ownerships, if I'm going to be hard on them, I also have to say, hey, listen, that was great, and I'm happy to hear that. And the proposal is no public money. Thumbs up.
Yeah. I don't know how they got there, but I'm happy that's where they are.
That's great. The other thing the Coyotes are planning to do, and I think this is a smart move, although I think it should be more, Coyotes are planning to offer 500 tickets to every game to Arizona State students alone.
Oh, nice.
Great.
Which is awesome. Now,
Half the arena.
3,200 people will be able to be there, so that's roughly a quarter. So that's the equivalent in an NHL arena of giving away 4,000 seats every game.
Wow.
4 to 5,000.
And good. I mean, you're
good, and you should
good.
Invest
and you should.
in your product.
And let's make no bones about it. It is an investment.
Yes.
Because listen, you're not making money over the next few years. You're not. There's no situation where you make money.
Mm-hmm.
Unless
your equity will go up, but you're going to lose money.
If the Coyotes with all their draft picks this year drafted 5 Connor McDavids, made 2 of them play defense, and played them 60 minutes a game, and just had you can watch the best hockey you've ever seen in your entire life, they wouldn't be able to charge an amount of money that would make them profitable. They just wouldn't. You'd have to sell last row seats for $5,000 a piece, and they would still lose unbelievable amounts of money. So, in absence of making money, you need to plant your flag. Here we are. We're a lot of fun. You're going to have a great time watching the Arizona Coyotes.
Bring your student card to get 20% off concessions.
Get 20% off concessions. Come have a beer. Come have some snacks.
It's 21 drinking age.
Right. Sorry. Canadian,
don't have a beer.
Canadian. My bad. Come not have a beer unless you're at like the end of 4th year, maybe. And get a jersey. Here's why you should believe in and be interested in the Arizona Coyotes.
By the way, the whole not drinking till 21 is...
I don't get it.
It's the biggest sham in America.
Yeah, that law makes no sense.
That's the law to me that you're like, everybody has broken that law. Republicans and Democrats. Just get rid of it.
It's weird because of what the states are. You know what I mean?
No.
When I go there, I tell this story. When I went to Pennsylvania and I got a $38 pair of pants for $38.
Oh, yeah, because there's no sales tax?
Yeah. Like, everything is just free market, free everything, the most freedom, to the point where it's a little bit scary sometimes, the freedom.
In certain cities, they're falling over themselves to sell you alcohol. Like, they're just...
Yeah.
Like, it's funny because, like, you see with other vices, people are like, whoa. But with booze, it's, like, totally okay.
Yeah.
And they're like, here, take it. Here's a fish bowl. Here's a fish bowl full of, we don't know how much. Drink it between 4 friends. Don't die. Please don't die.
Drink it between 4 friends.
Yeah.
Wink.
We're going to put 4 straws in it because we're legally we have to.
And one guy drinks out of all 4 of them.
It's true.
But for some reason, 21.
So apparently the reason that it's like 20, it used to be 18 because if you could go to war, you should be able to drink, which in Canada, it's 19, but you can still go to war at 18.
19 some parts.
Some parts. Apparently, if you wanted highway money in the 80s during the Reagan administration, which is like a super conservative, he was the president for most of the 80s. He said, if you want money from the federal government for this, you have to raise your drinking age to 21.
But they're free market. Like, that's why it's confusing to me.
It's very confusing.
Like,
you're asking me to make sense of something that I do not know. And I know that I would imagine that 90% of people that have had a drink in the United States had it before 21. So it doesn't make any sense. But anyway.
On the Arizona Coyotes front, I think people have the perception about when we talk about them that we're not rooting for hockey in Arizona. And I think it's so the opposite of everything that we believe, because the hockey scene down there, by everything that we've read and everything we've heard, is absolutely thriving, and that it's a growing community, and that they've done a lot of great for USA Hockey in particular in generating players. And now we're actually finally starting to see the groundwork being laid for a sustainable future for hockey in Arizona.
You said finally? Can you not put stank on it?
And
You said finally? How friggin' dare you be
I think-
all
and
fed
unfortunately,
up with no.
And
I'm indignant that anyone would.
Why do we have to qualify that?
Are you fucking serious? Stop.
But also, they're exhausted from hearing about it too, right?
Yeah,
I want to be
I
fair
get
to them.
that.
Okay.
I think it's
I
fair.
get that, but our job is also to comment on the situation and provide context, and that it's been a rocky road for nearly 20 years.
Bullshit.
And
Jesse, they signed a 25-year lease in 2015 with Glendale. They're fine, thank you.
It's been great. Never.
and I feel like
It's been great. You're right. You bullied my thought into a lie.
I just want to acknowledge both sides in that, yes, it's been a real struggle to reach this point for Arizona and growing the Coyotes. And I think we're finally at a situation where we can say, hey, after this, hopefully only 2-year, but it's looking like 3-year run at ASU, we're going to have a home for the Coyotes forever. And we're not looking at a franchise moving around. Like, we don't look at the LA Kings and be like, oh, you know what? The Kings might move to Kansas City any day now. No, they're just going to be like every other franchise where they're going to stick there. And that's great for them. But also, it took a while to get here because of the politics that go on there with shaky owners. And now we're finally here, and that's a very good thing.
Yes.
You know what
And
I'm tired
and
of?
I'm happy for hockey in Arizona.
You know what I'm tired of? I'm tired of the Canadian media. That's what I've heard. It's the Canadian media.
Oh my God, huff
we
farts.
don't want the Arizona Coyotes in Canada. We want them to stay. I'm just thinking every time I bring it up, I'm like, Houston makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? When I like a team in Quebec City, sure, but I don't want it at the expense of hockey in Arizona.
No!
Our best players from Arizona, and as a hockey player because of the Coyotes,
Because of
I
you
love
guys.
it.
Like-
Come on.
And my advice would be to put on a gas mask, fill it with farts, and take deep breaths, the quality of which would belong to an Olympic
Steve.
swimmer. No,
I don't think
get out of here.
You shouldn't close your eyes and pretend like it's all been positive in
It's been great.
Arizona.
It's been great.
And we're
guys,
finally
they
here.
brought back the Kachina. It's great.
And we're at a point where it's positive now.
And I like the fact that there's no public money. I really love that. Okay,
Yes.
now on a more serious note, and we're going to have more on this as the week goes on because it's important. These people are testifying today. Multiple officials from Hockey Canada will be in Ottawa today. Ottawa is Canada's capital city, for anyone that doesn't know, to testify in a Canadian parliamentary hearing in front of the Standing Committee on Canadian Heritage, and will take questions from the committee about the lawsuit involving Hockey Canada. I believe it was the 2018
Yes.
World Championships. There
World
are
Junior
World Junior Championships. Yep, sorry. And there was 8 players from the team involved. There was a lawsuit settled, a sexual assault lawsuit. I'm not going to get into the details because when we do actually, first off, you should read the article that Rick put out. You should read the article that came out today with Katie Strang and Sean Shapiro, I believe, are the two.
Ian Mendes.
Ian Mendes is in there too. Yeah, Ian Mendes, Dan Robson, and Katie Strang, excuse me. And, it's, again, I want to put out a trigger warning for sexual assault survivors for sure. But I think it's important that you take a read. It's a tough read. Steve just retweeted it a few hours ago. And I think it's important that you read it. And then, of course, we'll kind of be able to, I think we'll be able to know, because I don't believe these hearings are closed. I think they're open. You could see them. They're going to be reported
they're
on
right now. Yeah.
So we're going to find out as it goes on. And obviously, the person that broke that is Rick Westhead. And we're currently working with Rick and his insanely busy schedule to discuss this. And I think
We've been teasing that for weeks.
I think that the major quote from this, and they have it right at the top from the Athletic article here, is "We haven't learned a damn thing."
Mhm.
And so I think it'll be hopefully it's a sobering moment, and hopefully some change out of this one as well. So with that, we are going to go to the press conference. Steve, are you athletic?
Yeah?
Are you green?
No.
Then you need to drink more Athletic Greens, don't you?
Oh, darn.
No, I'm kidding. But actually, Athletic Greens is something that's really perfect for you, making sure that you get all your vitamins and that sort of thing. And especially if you're like, let's say you get your Steve, and you're up till 3, 4 a.m.
Oh,
Aren't you normally?
Sometimes.
After the streams and everything?
Not
And then-
4.
Not 4.
Okay, 3, right?
great.
For your-
Let's say you're up till friggin' you're 72 hours.
All right, let's say you never sleep. What do I take then, Adam?
To be
Let's
clear,
say
If I
you're
don't sleep, what do I
scientific
take? Yeah.
Athletic Greens does not encourage you not sleeping. They want you to sleep. But if you've got a busy schedule, which is Steve stays up really late. I don't know if you know this. And then he's got to get up with his son Leo in the morning like a lot of parents do. But you're working a lot of times till 2 a.m., right? Is that fair?
It's very fair.
And then you have to wind down afterwards. So Athletic Greens can help you with it. And again, it's great for any lifestyle, whether you eat keto, paleo, vegan, dairy-free, gluten-free. One actually contains less than a gram of sugar, no GMOs, no nasty chemicals, no artificial anything, and it tastes good. And right now, reclaim your health. To make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you 1 free year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do, go to athleticgreens.com/SDP. It's 3 letters. Again, athleticgreens.com/SDP. Take ownership of your health and pick up the ultimate in daily nutritional insurance. Hey, if you're tired of paying high interest with your credit card, on your credit card debt, check out Lightstream. A lot of people don't realize this, but credit cards can have terribly high interest rates. Even if you've got excellent credit, your APR could be like 20%, 30%, sometimes higher. So stop overpaying and take control of your finances with Lightstream. Lightstream believes people with great credit deserve great rates. Now, if you want to, you can apply with a special interest discount code. Again, it's go to lightstream.com/SDP. That is lightstream.com/SDP. Subject to credit approval, rates range from 5.73 APR to 19.99 APR and include a 0.50 auto pay discount. Lowest rate requires excellent credit. Terms and conditions apply and offers are subject to change without notice. Visit lightstream.com/SDP for more information. Muskoka Brewery, tread lightly. Steve said last episode that it goes well with just wanting to have a beer, because I was like, you can pair it with this, you can pair it with that. No.
Pairs well with wanting to have a beer. Pairs well with the summertime.
And it's one of those things where it's a beer, they say on the website here, venture to a place where light beer makes no flavor sacrifice. Oftentimes with super light beers, you're going to get super light taste, not tread lightly. And I wouldn't even call it a super light beer. It's just a beer with 110 calories per 355 milliliter can. And like all of Muskoka's beer, Muskoka Brewery's beer, Tread Lightly is proudly crafted in Muskoka with all natural ingredients. You can get it at the LCBO. You can get it at the grocery store. You can get it at the beer store. It's,
My house.
You could get it at Steve's house.
In Oshawa.
Go to Steve's house, knock on the door, and I'll have a
Is that
Tread
a part of
Lightly,
this?
please.
Is that a part of? You
Yes,
can go
it's
to,
actually
you can go to
listed.
Steve's house and you can get a you can get a beer.
Okay.
That's
okay.
The thing, yeah.
Okay.
The disclaimer is you cannot. But you can go to the LCBO and the beer store. And remember, it's all made right here in Ontario. Muskoka Breweries.
Good things grow in Muskoka Brewery, as they say.
Tread lightly. Thank you, Steve. Thought that was going well until that moment.
The Presser. SDP. The Steve Dangle Press Conference.
Steve, how was your stream on Friday or Saturday?
I think I did well. Why? You're asking that like I fucked up. What'd I do?
Did you eat any more chocolate on the stream?
I don't think I did. But you did at Leo's birthday party.
Can you tell the audience, and Adam Wilde in particular, what gold is and why you ate it live on camera, which you shouldn't do. You shouldn't ever do this, Adam, as a broadcaster.
Don't tell me what to do.
You did
Eating live on camera?
Eating live on camera.
Yeah, you should not.
You should not do that. But Steve said it was too delicious to not do. So you, on Wednesday's stream, you ate some chocolate live on air. What was this chocolate and why is it special?
So, my wife's grandmother is visiting from Scotland for the first time since pre-pandemic. First time she's met Leo. And this is great because whenever Sarah Louise's family comes from Scotland, they bring like this table-sized dairy milks.
Oh, it's different over there.
And they know to bring Stephen his gold biscuits. Golds are... You asked if they were like Kit Kat. They're not.
They're not.
It's more like a cookie than a wafer. And they're wrapped in this chocolate. They're wrapped in this chocolate that is like an obnoxiously artificial color of yellow.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can't find that color.
I don't even consider it
chocolate. I don't know what it is. It's almost like a butterscotch kind of, or like a
Yeah.
toffee. No, not really toffee. Butterscotch. And Jesse, what did you say? What was your review when you had it on Saturday?
Fantastic.
You said 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. Yes.
And there's 2 left at my house, and all I'm going to do the entire way home is think about them.
Wow. Okay. All right.
Can they sponsor this show? Can a biscuit that I don't think can be purchased in North America sponsor this show?
Because of Steve's relationship with gold chocolates and how much he loves them. Adam, you have an English background. Is that correct?
Yes.
Apparently
English,
he's French.
English, Russian, French.
What is your favorite food from your motherland?
From English? Or the English food?
From the motherland of your
motherland.
ancestors. Not your motherland's here.
Okay. Well, if we're talking bangers and mash are the best because there's sausages and then there's English bangers.
Yeah, it's different.
And you have to have caramelized onions with that. Sometimes even caramelize some mushrooms in with that as well because it's got to be smothered. But English bangers are different than your normal sausage and they're better. They are better. I'm sorry, unless it's chorizo, which is the ultimate sausage. Thank you very much. Chorizo sausage is the best. Thank you, Steve's Culture, for that. And
I think that might be.
Are they Italian?
I think they're Spanish.
Okay, maybe I'm wrong.
I don't know.
Oh well.
They're one of the.
Steve, I don't care. Just kidding. I'm kidding. Chorizo's probably Spanish. You're probably right.
I don't know, man.
Bangers are great because they're sort of a gray piece of meat.
What is happening?
Which is very British, right? The Brits are like famous for, they used to like boil their meat, cook it gray.
They specialize in food that looks disgusting.
Yes. It goes in like how it comes out, right? Is that
God damn.
But
Sure.
You get the right gravy, you get mashed potatoes filled with butter.
Gravy's so important.
And obviously it's so incredible. It's my favorite thing. I don't mind. I had this at a pub called the Hung, Drawn, and Quartered in London, England. It's a very famous pub because it's right outside the Tower of London where they used to hang, draw, and quarter people. And
very British.
Their meat pies. Their meat pies are great. Meat pies in Canada suck. And that means, I'm sorry, Quebec, I'm talking to you. Tourtière is torture. It's not good.
I don't know what that is.
Tourtière?
No.
No, it's a French meat pie.
Oh, but I won't be trying
I'm telling you, English meat pie, delicious. Jesse, what about you?
What about me? What?
Well, same question. Is your family not from Trinidad?
Yeah, my dad
Grenada.
was from Trinidad and Tobago. My mom's from Grenada.
Do you have one?
And favorite foods? Well, it's a whole host of different stuff. Like doubles are fantastic. Roti doubles. Yeah, have you ever had doubles?
No.
What's a double?
I've had roti, but
It's like it's a dough. Do you know like roti dough?
Yeah.
It's kind of similar to that, except it's a little more I guess more bread like. It's like thicker and
Okay.
it's kind of a pocket. And inside of it's like it's chickpeas. Chickpeas and like a sauce. Yeah.
Okay.
Doubles are fantastic. I'm doing a terrible job describing it. But piloris as well. Piloris are like kind of just fried dough. And they come in like these little balls, and then there's a sauce, and you dip it in.
Oh, that
sauce.
sounds terrible. How could
Yeah,
could anyone like that? That sounds awful.
They're fucking fantastic. There's a lot of fried foods in Trinidad, and like rice and peas. If you have like Trinidad and Tobago rice and peas, like those are always fantastic. And then we get weird with the meats because we'll have things like oxtail.
Mm-hmm.
I still have not had oxtail.
Oxtail's
I badly
fantastic.
need to have oxtail.
My mom loved goat.
I love
Really?
goat.
Goat.
I've
is-
never had goat.
Oh, you gotta try goat. Goat's
It's,
fantastic.
How would you describe it? It's like not tougher. It's like more dense than beef.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
It's not
hard
the
to
same.
describe.
It's
I
not
can
the
see
same.
that.
Because you see goats, cows are kind of fat. Goats are like sinewy.
It's
they're like
leaner.
They're like the animal that does yoga, right? You know, they're like just there's bodybuilders and then there's
Yoga.
people that do yoga.
It's lean.
Yeah,
It's lean.
Yeah.
and it's just tight muscle.
Grr.
Chorizo, by the way,
I thought
just
you
throwing that
didn't
out there. Spanish.
I don't care.
I don't care.
I don't
Spanish
care. I don't
and
care.
Don't care, I don't
Portuguese.
care.
Because I know our Portuguese listeners will not like it if they're not included in that. Spanish and Portuguese.
And
one of
meanwhile,
them.
there's Adam like, it's one of those ones. It's one of those ones where they're loud and they talk with their hands and hairy forearms, big nose. It's
That's
one of-
essentially what Adam said.
Portuguese, Spanish, Italian, Greek. It's one of those. We get it, Adam. We get it. It's one of us. One of those ones.
Oh my god. Yeah, no, I love hearing that. Okay, Jesse, next question.
Next question, Adam. Did you prepare your live golf clips?
No, I can't. You know what I can't find now? I can't find the press conference.
Oh no,
I can't find it. So
It's right
especially
there
the
on
one with
Jesse's computer.
I can't find like with Mickelson and all that stuff. Like I can't find it. It was really good. They actually had to remove a reporter because he was asking such pointed questions. He's like, "Are you just a show for the Saudis?" And they were like, "Can we get this fucking guy out of here?" Like,
Wow.
and then he made it back in and asked another question. It was all dramatic.
everybody on Discord, stop asking
Please,
and move
yeah,
on.
sorry guys,
Adam,
We're not doing it.
Do you see that ship?
it sailed.
It sailed.
Okay, Discord, it's moved.
I
on.
know, I'm sorry.
All right, so and then the follow up from Clearly a Bot, who always has terrific questions on our Discord server for the press conference questions. Steve, do you have any follow up thoughts on MJF?
I don't think he's been on television since it's all happened. I've been distracted by the ridiculous WWE bullshit that's going on. Do you know about this?
So I didn't. We were here on Friday when the Vince McMahon news was breaking, right?
Yes.
And then,
Oh, yes. That's right.
yeah.
So he stepped down now.
Not really.
then
No, he
was-
stepped. Well,
Yeah.
Stephanie McMahon has taken over, which means that he's still in sort of in charge, right?
Imagine
And they're investigating him.
Imagine Donald Trump was like, "I am stepping down as president. Ivanka is now president."
Okay.
and I'm
How
gonna
would
just
you feel?
stay at the White House.
Right.
Yeah, like so Vince McMahon is basically accused of he had an affair with a paralegal who worked for WWE. There was some sort of settlement that was reached. I believe it was $3 million.
But to be fair, like I don't want to say that he didn't just have an affair. Like there was impropriety here, right? This isn't like when they phrase it as he had an affair. It's like, oh, he had an extramarital affair. He cheated on his wife. That's not what happened here.
Yeah, it's a
There was some
boss
really
employee sort of thing,
again. Look it up.
it's not
Trigger warning. It's bad.
It's not good.
It's very bad.
So anyway, then so it was announced he's stepping down as CEO, but supposedly he's still going to be involved with the booking of Raw and SmackDown, so he's not in charge of the company. He's just in charge of
Of its products.
most important part of it. And then it's announced, I'm going to start SmackDown. Vince McMahon is going to address the crowd like the day that breaks. And he comes out there.
Oh, and he did it.
Did he do it?
He did it, and he comes out to his
They hit the music and everything?
No chance. And
Oh
he's
my!
walking
What
out
is
there
happening
with
in
his
wrestling?
strut, and he looks
Holy shit!
He looks ancient because he is, and
78.
he gets out there, and it's very very short. He's just like, thank you all for being here. I just want to remind everyone of the tagline for WWE because it was on the screen. Then, now, forever, together. And then that's it. And the crowd, big cheers, clapping. They're looking for high fives as he's walking out. Oh, it was embarrassing for that crowd. Now, I tweeted about that, and some people pointed out that WWE has been known to pipe in crowd noise. Yes.
Okay.
There was a lot about the WWE experience that is artificial. They mic up underneath the ring.
Hey.
So it sounds thunderous every time.
Anybody who doesn't know, spoiler alert: the whole thing is artificial. It is a show.
Hey, bullshit.
There's not some parts about it that's artificial. The whole
How
thing
dare you?
is artificial because they are putting on a production that's a show that's all scripted.
So
So you know.
There you go.
that's been the wrestling news this week. Is Vince McMahon is still the Vince McMahoniest, and it's not cute. It's not cute at all.
It's not good.
Easy on you.
And MJF, he's been out and he hasn't been back.
I think he was written off, one, to maybe let things settle down a little bit with what's going on with his contract, but two, I think he's getting some injuries looking after. Kenny Omega, the biggest star, or one of the biggest stars in AEW, he's going to return from injury soon. There's a pay-per-view coming up called Forbidden Door. It's a partnership between AEW and New Japan Pro Wrestling that Kenny Omega used to be a part of. And there's rumors he might be involved in that, but nothing confirmed.
MJF leaving at the height of his fandom and his peak is
His heat.
very smart. It's heat. I think it's smart because it only builds the comeback, and when he comes back, you expect a 2-year run. You know.
Yeah. What they do next with MJF is going to be fascinating.
Yeah.
I would like to bring one more thing up, and this just broke. CHL has announced a new point system for the Memorial Cup today, just a few hours before the tournament is due to begin.
Okay.
And this will be very interesting for anybody that wants change in how the NHL awards points. Teams will now earn 3 points for a regulation win, 2 for an overtime win, and 1 for an overtime loss during the 6-game round-robin portion of the tournament. Previously, teams were awarded 2 points for a win, no points for a loss, regardless of whether or not the game went to overtime. So what often happens is the NHL says to the CHL, hey, do this. See how it works.
Sometimes the CHL just does it.
Sometimes they do.
Is it a hot take to say you shouldn't do this hours before the Memorial Cup is supposed to start? It starts tonight.
I think that's why the headline says CHL announces new Memorial Cup point system hours before the 2022 tournament.
Literally,
begins.
it starts tonight, a couple hours after we're done recording.
Yes.
I can't help but be skeptical in moments like this. They're announcing this during the Hockey Canada hearings.
No, the Hockey Canada hearings don't, according to Rick Westhead, they don't begin for a couple more hours, 3:30.
Oh, really? I
Yeah.
thought it was currently ongoing.
No.
Well,
Rick,
it
3:30.
does potentially. In the world of searching for stuff on the internet, I'm very skeptical about things that conveniently break day of, because I feel like some of the Hockey Canada stuff might get buried.
Mm-hmm.
That's a very odd change to make on the day your tournament starts.
It is.
Yeah.
Makes you wonder why that happened.
Did they provide a reason there in what you're reading?
They did not. Why would they do that? Jesse?
A skeptic might say that they intentionally saved that news for today.
Was that supposed to get the fans pumped?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't think so.
That's
I
a
don't
tough
think so.
one.
Anyway,
That's a tough one.
Hey,
Did you guys
by
see
the way-
Joe Biden fall off a bike?
I did, but he's
I did.
fine. He's fine. He's just
It
fine.
was funny.
Presidents fall down sometimes.
I'm kind of excited for the Memorial Cup. This will be a nice break.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, how do you think Arizona Coyotes fans feel that you said
Stop it.
that? Okay.
The Steve Dangle Podcast.
Powered by Sports Interaction, Canada's Sportsbook.
Follow the guys on Twitter at Steve_Dangle, at Adam WYLDE, and at Jesse Blake. Connection complete.